Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful evening so far. My name is Zachary Perkins. I'm part of the marketing department, but some of you might recognize me. I've done a little bit of work everywhere in Neighborhood Sun. You might have seen me at events helping out the sales department, or you might have heard my voice on the phone as I helped out with the customer development department a few years ago. With all that in mind, I am here to present to you just a quick rundown on everything Neighborhood Sun to give anybody, both old and new customers alike, an idea of who we are, what we're doing. And at the end of my presentation, I will be opening the microphone up to all of you to go ahead and shoot questions both to me and to my cohort here, Tajay. Taj is also part of the customer development department, so if you've called us recently, you might have heard his melodious tones. Like I said, with that in mind, let's go ahead and begin.
Now, picking up as if everything has been going smoothly so far, anybody who pays an electric bill can subscribe, helping to build stronger communities, fight climate change, and save money in the process. Who is involved? So you might not be aware, even our veteran customers, of exactly how many cooks are in this particular kitchen, including yourselves. We have subscriber organizations, which is what Neighborhood Sun is. What we do is we help connect all of the other people that you see here together. Those people include the utility company, who, depending on your region, it might be Xcel or Central Hudson up in New York. It could be Pepco, or it could be BGE down here in Maryland. The EPC developers, those are the people that actually build the solar farms. And there's the finance/owners, and those are oftentimes, but not always, the same people as the developers. Then there are customers, you folks, and local organizations, the various partners. If you are a longtime resident of Maryland, you probably have heard of CCAN, one of our oldest partners. We do work with them and other local organizations all across the country, wherever we're set up. Why does it matter? So community solar is the missing link to make sure the energy transition is equitable and inclusive. One of the main things that people talk about when it comes to solar, I'm sure that you all here have thought this or heard it, otherwise you wouldn't be here, but to preach to the choir, not everybody can get solar panels on their roofs. Not everybody can get solar panels because they don't own their own roofs, maybe they rent, or maybe they have trees that are blocking the sunlight. Maybe they just don't want to. You shouldn't have to get solar panels on your personal roof in order to participate in the green movement. And so community solar is the missing link to make it equitable for everybody. That brings me to who we are specifically. As I mentioned in the 2 slides ago, Neighborhood Sun is a customer acquisition and management company. We're also a certified B Corporation based in Maryland. We're servicing several states across the country with a mission to make the benefits of clean energy accessible to all, not just the select few. We use our Sun Engine software to help manage your sign-up process, documents, contracts, payments, and environmental impact. We strive to innovate around every challenge, to be responsive, to follow up diligently, and to care deeply about our customers. Now we're moving on to the bills and credits. So to understand the credits that you receive, first we have to go through the time. If the solar farm is generating electricity in January, then at the end of the month, the utility company reads the meter in the solar farm, at the solar farm to see how much energy was generated. In February, your utility bill will have solar credits appear on it. The utility company will then tell us how many credits they gave you. And in March, we send you our invoices via email for your for your first month's credit. I should note here before I move on This is how it works in states where we have dual billing, and that's most states. However, New York has what's called consolidated billing. What that means is this whole process has been streamlined and smoothed out so that there's only one bill, the utility bill. All of this math, all of this back and forth that's being laid out here that we do here in Maryland and New Jersey and all the other states that Neighborhood Sun is in New York, it is all consolidated into one bill. And I have great news, folks in Maryland. In our latest legislative process, a bill was just passed and is expected to be signed that will bring consolidated billing to Maryland. So all of this is relevant now, but keep an eye out for information from us. I don't have the timeline, but at some point in the near future, we should be able to reduce this complicated process down to just one bill. That being said, until that time comes, we do need to make sure that everybody understands how it works, so we will keep going on. On your utility bill, when you receive it from your utility company, there will be a location. This is an example from BG&E, but it'll be on all of your utility bills. There will be a spot that indicates some additional charges and credits. These are the credits priced at the utilities rates. Here we go. Appearing on your BG&E bill, we apply your discounted savings to your Neighborhood Sun bill. So if you get $100 worth of solar energy from Neighborhood Sun and you have a 10% discount, we charge you 90% for the solar, but you see it as $100 worth of credits on your BG&E bill, as shown here. Here's a zoomed in look on it. So as you can see, the previous balance is listed with the payments. The outstanding balance is listed here for this month, which is 0. The cost of electric, the cost of gas, and then the negative number here showing the credits from Neighborhood Sun. And then this is zoomed in on page 3 of the BG&E bill, where it'll list off community solar adjustment as the cause for the additional credits. These are the credits priced at the utility rates of here. Oh, I never read this part. This was in the other side, but just zoomed in now. And this is the Neighborhood Sun bill. As you can see from the previous page, there was $56.31 credits. But we don't charge you $56.31. We take the 10% discount that is guaranteed to you off, and we charge you $50.68. This is My Solar. My Solar is your account where you can log in and see all of this information. As we saw before, the savings was $5.63. So in My Solar, when you log in, you can see savings from last bill, $5.63, and savings for all time, all of the savings from all your bills totals. You will also be able to see your environmental impacts to date, how many cars off the road, how many trees saved, things like that, all to help you understand how much of a difference you are making by being a member of Neighborhood Sun. On the right-hand side, we also have options where you can update your payment method, pay your bills, all your classic online account stuff. And down here, we have what's called the Solar Advocate page and your referral code. This is a way for you to help your friends and neighbors sign up. If you send the Solar Advocate page link to somebody, when they sign up, you will get credit for that sale, which will give you, depending on your region, we sometimes have discounts off of your bill. We sometimes have gift cards. So feel free to check in with us for your specific area, and we'll be able to tell you what kind of a discount you get. Now on to frequently asked questions. Why do I get two electric bills? Can you explain how I'm getting the savings and what exactly I'm paying for? As previously discussed, what you're getting two electric bills for is it's actually one electric bill that unfortunately, for the time being, is being split into two, where the discount you receive on your utility bill is then represented in the bill by us. You still get a discount, but what you're paying for is still the electricity. How do you compute our charges and why does the price fluctuate? When you sign up for a percentage of production. So you get maybe 5%. That would actually be a huge amount from the amount of energy we produce. But let's say you get 5% of the energy that we produce every single month. In July, that 5% is going to be much bigger than in December because 5% of summer sunlight is just going to be more energy than 5% of winter sunlight. Why can't I match my solar credits to my neighborhood sun invoice? The biggest reason for this is because people look at the month and think that it should be the same. I understand the impulse. I totally agree that it is not intuitive. But if you're looking at your March neighborhood sun invoice, you don't look at your March utility bill. You look at your February utility bill. Is all of my electricity coming from you, or is signing up for additional supply advisable? The electricity is being accredited from us, but it's not directly coming from us. We certainly have customers that do both. Now, there is some caution I would like to encourage with this, because third-party suppliers can set their own rates. And so any discount that we promise is based upon utility prices. We cannot guarantee that it will be a discount if you're using a third-party supplier. Now, some people do have third-party suppliers that are discounted as well, and so they're double dipping, and that's great. But as I'm sure some of you on here are aware, some third-party suppliers can increase their price over time. You don't have to worry about that with Neighborhood Sun. But if you're with a third-party supplier that's increasing their price, that's not anything that we're able to help counterbalance, unfortunately. And then the final question, how can I be sure it's not a scam? We unfortunately hear this a lot, and the best thing that I can tell you is we are a state-accredited business. The community solar industry was a pilot program, but with the aforementioned bill that was recently passed, it is going to become a permanent fixture in the Maryland utility company setup. There's all sorts of articles online. I can also share articles after this meeting. We are also, as previously mentioned, a B corporation. What that means is that we are accredited as a benefits corporation, that we are doing good, and that our business practices are not just for us, but for our community as well. Now, for your impact, our average community solar subscriber offsets the equivalent of 8 hot air balloons filled with CO2 per year, with each hot air balloon being 1 metric ton of CO2. And there's ways that you can expand your impact by referring your neighbors and friends, by leaving us a Google review, and by sharing your community solar story. So referring, I see here that it specifically says a $50 gift card. When you refer a friend or family, you get a $50 gift card, and they will also get a $50 gift card, which is just great for everybody involved. And of course, we are still a growing company, so every single Google review helps. We currently, last I checked, have 49 Google reviews. Tomorrow, I will be checking to see if any of our lovely participants today have left us one themselves. I hope you do. And then for sharing your community solar story, Don't keep it a secret. Send a testimonial or a photo about your experience to this email here, stakeholdersmatter@neighborhoodsun.solar. So your story can help others save money and prevent pollution. Here's a quick by the numbers look at Neighborhood Sun. We have 7,242 Neighborhood Sun customers. They have saved 234,254 metric tons of CO2 prevented, with a total of 2,347,038 saved. Here's some helpful resources in Q&A, and I believe that brings us to the part where I turn it over to you all. So, I think that the best way that we're going to do this is, I think if you ask the questions in the chat, and then I do my best to answer them in an orderly fashion. So go ahead and hit us.
When you get your first bill from BGE, mine has a credit on it for the April. Now, when should I be looking for the bill in the email from Neighborhood Sun?
The bill from Neighborhood Sun will be in May.
All right, so it'll come in May. All right, now if I have a credit on my bill of $75, then what happens with that credit? How does that affect what I'm going to pay?
Depending on the discount that you're receiving, you will either get 5%, 10%, or even higher off of that $75. So if your credit on your bill this month was $75, then you could be looking at only a bill of $70 from us next month.
Okay, so you take the percentage of credit that I'm due from the amount of credit BGE gave me, and then you bill me that. What remains?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Fantastic. Give me just a second. We have a lot of questions coming in. Oh, I haven't even noticed. We have Natalia in the comments section helping to answer questions as they were popping up. Thank you so much, Natalia.
No problem.
Yep, I'm scrolling through the questions and it looks like Natalia's been knocking it out of the park. I do see a question from Dawn. Does it get more expensive the more people join? The answer is no. When you sign up with us, your discount is guaranteed. So when it says 10% off, it stays 10% off at the time of the contract. Ooh, here's a good question, and I might actually have to check in with somebody for this. I don't think that I have the answer. What is the status of the money I invested in with Refunder in 2020?
If I've already submitted my application, will I get a notification that I'm actually enrolled, or I just need to wait for my first bill?
Give me just a second, Deborah. I'm currently trying to answer another question, and then I will be able to help you out. So for the WeFunder questions, we're going to have to get back to you on that with uh, with our CEO Gary. He will be able to reach out to you directly. Okay. Sorry, Deborah. What was that?
So I submitted my application a few weeks ago and I haven't heard anything back. Will I get a notification that I'm actually in, or do I just need to wait and see what shows up on my next Pepco bill?
That sounds like a question that we would need to dig into your specific account for. When you signed up, you should have gotten a welcome email from us, so you should have gotten some notification. I don't have the ability to check on your specific individual account right this second. But again, because this is recorded, we should be able to reach back out to you in the next couple of days to give you an answer. If you also could reach out to us during normal business hours tomorrow, I know that our customer development team would be more than happy to help to get to all the details.
Okay, thank you. Also, do you know why if you're applying for a low or moderate income, it asks for 2019 income? That doesn't make sense to me.
You know, Deborah, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me either. If it's asking you for 2019 incomes for LMI stuff, it probably, you know what? I do not want to say what it probably should or shouldn't do, but you're right. That doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, well, the three people I spoke to on the phone didn't know either, which isn't very good.
No, I totally understand. Thank you, Bonnie, so much for that. Okay. I'm seeing a question, well, more of a comment, but 20 years seems excessive. Well, 20 years is the guaranteed locked-in discount. You are welcome to leave if you have any desire or need to, like if you're moving. You are not locked into the contract yourself. The 20 years is what's locking us into this discount for you. It's actually really good for the customer.
This is probably a question for BGE, but if I continue to get credits on my BGE bill, what happens with those credits?
If you keep getting credits on your BGE bill, you'll keep getting a discount bill from us.
Okay. Does it mount up every month? I mean, they have a credit, so okay. All right, I kind of see where it's going, so I'll leave it alone. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. I also had a question. My Delmarva bill is showing a final balance of like negative $115. But then when I look at the credit I got from Neighborhood Sun, it says $385 credit. So what should I expect my bill to be when I get it emailed to me?
Can you repeat those numbers again?
So I just got my Delmarva bill and it said the balance that I owe is minus 115. But when I look at the credit from Neighborhood Sun, it says negative $385. So you're saying I'm supposed to get an email that shows me 10% of the $385 credit? Is that correct?
If 10% is what you had signed up for, what your project gives you, then yes.
Okay.
Hi, I have a question. I've been waiting over a year, I think, since I signed up for the Friendship Maryland array to go live. And it says, I just checked your little thing that you provided here, and it says that it's sold out and it's constructed, but why isn't it live yet? I don't understand why it keeps getting delayed and delayed.
I am so glad that you asked that question. The Friendship Solar Farm has been dealing with a number of delays. As we explored here earlier in the presentation, one of the people involved with the community solar process are the developers and builders. When they tell us that there is a delay, sometimes they give us extra details, sometimes they don't. When we have extra details, we're able to pass them on to you. When we don't have extra details, we can't. But I believe that I'm looking at our head of marketing right now that we have just sent out an email saying that Friendship is officially live.
Yeah, well, actually, that's why I joined this thing, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Thank you.
And not a problem. And if you didn't receive the email, please contact us.
No, I did receive it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had another question as well. What happens when you move? Is there any, when the home changes hands and the new owner is there, what happens then? As you are the old owner, will you have to pay something at that point when you leave that address, or what happens at that point?
Not at all. The program is hooked up to your utility bill number. So when you move, you cancel your account with the utility company at that location, meaning that you won't accidentally be paying for somebody else to get community solar. And what you should do is reach out to us so that we can talk about moving it to your new location.
But there's no balance that has to be taken care of, or anything that needs to be cleaned up that accrued over that period of time that you had Neighborhood Sun.
Not if I'm understanding you correctly. Now, that being said, because of the delay that occurs, if you are moving out, let's say you move out in May, your last utility bill for your home is in June. So as we all saw with the way that it flows, your last bill from us will be in July. That doesn't mean that we're charging you extra. That doesn't mean that there's any sort of holdover. It just means that the last time that you lived in that house was May. So the last bill from us will be July.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem.
Taj, I have a question. I'm subscribing to the facility that you have, that you're running in Delanco, New Jersey. And I'm curious if there's a place we can go to see what the total amount generated each month is and what the percentage of that we were assigned is when we first signed up, because my numbers don't seem to be adding up properly.
This sounds like a multi-pronged question. To tackle the very first part, we unfortunately do not have any information public for the customers on how much the farm generated every month. To answer the other part of your question, if your numbers aren't matching up, give our customer development team a call. They will help go over your bill with you and figure out where the numbers are askew and help readjust them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll do that. Is Maddie still working with you? Because that's who I reached out to.
Yes, Maddie is still working with us. Maddie is a staple of Neighborhood Sun.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick look in the chat to see if there's other questions in there. I believe that Natalia and Taj have both been answering questions in there. Thank you so much, both of you.
Yes, hi. My name is Kim. I have a question.
Hi, Kim.
My question is, now this is my situation now. My ex-husband, I signed up during the time that we were still married. So the bill was in his name. I'm using Central Hudson. And I signed up for the solar farms. Now I have my credits. It was like a whole big thing with Central Hudson. It was a mess. So they finally got it together. And I was the one that was paying the utilities. So now everything got transferred over to my name. So now it's not the same account. So I did re-sign up, but I'm unable to access those credits from the old bill.
I understand. So you said that you signed up, so you are still getting credits.
Well, the ones that's under my name now, but my
Right.
old credits, which were under my husband's account when he was living here, my ex-husband's account, I think that, they're not, it's Central Hudson. I guess I may have to take it up with them. I did call them, but they won't transfer the credits over to my account. It's the same address and everything, but of course the
Gotcha.
account name changed, which is under my name.
Right. Unfortunately, it does. I think that you're right. It does sound like that's going to be something you need to take up with Central Hudson.
Okay.
Yeah, because we don't, especially in New York, where we have consolidated billing. Central Hudson doesn't need to give us the information on how many credits you have. That information doesn't come to us because we don't bill you.
Okay. I did notice also that I'm not even with the same solar farm. I'm in the same address though, but they changed the solar farm.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully things go well with you in Central Hudson.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there solar farms in Prince George's County, Maryland?
Yes, there are. In fact, the very first farm of ours that went live, the Panorama Solar Farm, is in Prince George's County.
It's what solar park? Where is it located?
It's called Panorama. The specific town that it's located in is Fort Washington.
Oh, okay. And would somebody who lives in Bowie be able to get that? I've got their zip code, but I don't know if that helps.
Well, I won't be helping to sign up right this second, but I know for a fact that Bowie can sign up because my in-laws live in Bowie.
Okay. Thank you.
Not a problem. As we're waiting to see if there's other questions, are there any slides that people would like us to go back to show? All right, I'm going
Can
to
we
be.
look at the billing? Can we look at the billing again? The slide that has the billing. Can you go back and explain that again?
The slide that has the billing? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mean the billing timeline specifically?
Just where they're showing the credit and then the email that you get after your utility company shows the credit.
Okay, so the email that we sent. Our bill.
Yeah, what it looks like on your utility company bill and then what it looks like on your solar credit bill.
Gotcha. I actually have a friend and coworker who is currently controlling it. So if you could slide up to one, slide back to one. So this is how it'll look on the BG&E bill. We don't have examples for every utility region that we're in, but for BG&E, it's on page 3, and also on page 1. On page 3, it shows you a little more details. where it will show community solar adjustments as what it's called. And as you can see here in the example, it is $56.31. And as we move on to our bill, it's $56.31 is the line item labeled credits applied to your bill. Then the next line item is savings 10%, which is $5.63. The subtotal and total are $56.68. Did that clear that up for you?
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. We just had a request in chat to send the PowerPoint afterwards. Perfect. We'll send them out to everyone. Perfect. We'll be sending the recording and the slides out to everybody after the meeting. All right.
I have one question, and if I got on late, so if I missed it, I can get it another time. But I was wondering, is there any maximum that the cost will be? I had looked into a solar program previously, and when I read the details on that, it talked about how it could be more than your regular bill, and so there was a lot of uncertainty as to how much the charge would be. So I'm not sure if there are limits on what the cost could be. And if you already explained this, then I'll just listen to the recording.
Well, not at all. I did touch on this, but I did not go into any sort of detail, so I'm happy to go over it with you. The way that it works is when you sign up, we take your utility bill. We also check in with the utility company when available, and we figure out what your average monthly bill is in kilowatt hours. Then we assign an amount to you, a percentage of the utility farm's production monthly. So you might get, in my example earlier in the presentation, I said 5%, but realistically, we're talking like 0.015% of all of our production would go to you every month. That amount would be more in the summer than it is in the winter because that's just a larger pot. So even though you get the same 0.015% every single month, there's just more of it in July than there is in December. That being said, if you say go on vacation in July, so you're not at home for a month, wouldn't we all like to be on vacation for a month? That sounds great. But if you're on vacation for a month and you're not using any electricity, you still get that slice of the pie from us. You still get that energy that we have promised you. So in those cases where your expenditure is less than what we give you, we will be having a larger bill for you that following month. However, your credits roll over, so it never goes to waste.
So where are the charges? I mean, are the bills coming from you directly as opposed to our prior utility company?
It depends on your state. In New York, no. In New York, it's all consolidated. In Maryland, however, we currently have dual billing. So you would still get a bill from your utility company. Your bill from the utility company will show the discount on it. And then the following month, you will see a bill from us where whatever that amount was that we took off, we'll charge you for that minus your 10%.
What's the 10%?
10% is on average what our customers are guaranteed for their discount. Some people, it's 5%. Some people, it's, if you qualify, it can be as high as 25 or 30%. But the discount that you get from us is a percentage off of what credits we have covered for you.
What determines what an individual's discount percentage is?
Which farm they sign up for, and if the farm allows for LMI for additional savings, you would need to submit some additional paperwork, W-2s or something like that, for income verification.
So where do you, I mean, if you're just looking into this, where do you start? It sounds like you have to research and find a particular farm.
You don't have to research a particular farm. When you sign up with us, when you first sign up, page 1 is basic contact information. Page 2 lists the farms and has various details and discounts there. Thank you. I hope that answered your question.
It sounds like you don't know the percentage until after you sign up. Is that right?
No, not at all. So if you're signing up for, off the top of my head, if you're signing up for White Martian EGD, that's 10%. If, however, you apply for the LMI discount, that's 25%. I know that for a fact. White Marsh is one of our older farms. I just personally don't have memorized what every single farm discount is, because Neighborhood Sun, for all good reasons, has been growing. It looks like my associate is pulling up the whole list of solar farms for us. Perfect.
So what utility are you? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
PEPCO.
Oh,
PEPCO.
okay. So right now we don't really have spots for Pepco customers because all the solar farms are full. So right now what we're doing is enrolling people to a wait list, and we already have a bunch of people. So if you want a spot on the next solar farm that we get, then I suggest you get a spot on the wait list.
How do you do that?
I can send you a link to do that. But there should be also like a wait list solar farm here on the website. So if you leave your email on the chat, I can send you the link to do that.
And so when you get on the wait list, you're not signing a contract yet. You're just putting yourself in the queue to have an option when it becomes available.
Correct. So you just do the first 2 steps, which is your contact information and your account information. And then when we do have a solar farm, we will assign you to that one, and then you can complete the process. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, we're getting close to the end, so I think we have time for 1, maybe 2 more questions. While we're waiting to see if anybody else has any questions, I do want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who came on. The only way that this works is if we have the customer engagements that we saw here tonight with all the wonderful questions, all the people participating. So again, thank you so much for jumping on. I know that you could be doing anything with your 6 to 7 o'clock slot this evening, and I'm grateful that you spent it with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you mind clarifying in the chat? There's some comments about consolidated billing in Maryland, but I was told I would get a Pepco bill and an invoice from Neighborhood Sun, but would have to auto pay that invoice.
That is still true. There is a recent bill that was passed in the state legislature that we are expecting to be signed by the governor. that will allow for consolidated billing in there. What is the timeline for that? I have no idea. I wish that I could tell you. I wish that I was in with the governor and I had that inside information. Unfortunately, I do not.
Okay, well, that's fine as long, I mean, that clears up the confusion. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, would then Neighborhood Sun notify customers, or would we just start getting a single bill? How does that, do you know how that'll work?
Oh, we'll notify you. As soon as we have information about when consolidated billing is happening, you will be screaming it from the rooftops. We will be just as happy as you are when that happens.
Great, thank you.
So do you guys have auto pay so that you can just pay your bill that way, or?
We do have auto pay, yes.
Okay.
I
So
want
if
to
you're
circle back.
signed up for auto,
No, go ahead.
so if you're signed up for auto pay with your existing power company, I guess you need to call and get that shut off, or are they doing that automatically?
Not at all. You will still be paying your utility bill. Your utility bill will just be a lot smaller after you join up with us. So don't cancel your auto pay with your utility bill. You still want that in place. What'll happen though is if you're used to paying $100 a month to your utility bill, that could go down to being only $10 a month to your utility bill and $80 to us.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I did want to circle back. I just had some information slid over across the desk to me that when it comes to consolidated billing, we should have more information later this summer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I came in late. Will there be another session like this?
This session was so popular, I would not be surprised if we had another. However, we're also we've recorded it, and we will be sending this to everybody after the meeting, the recording and the slideshow.
Oh, great, great.
So are the participants in this located throughout the country?
Yeah, we had one person who said that they were from Arkansas, but for the most part, we had people from Maryland and New York, which is where we were reaching out to our customers and advertising this for.
I'm just curious why you're reaching out to Maryland at this time when there's really not the opportunity to join a farm because, you know, they're all full.
That was specifically in Pepco. The Pepco region is full. BG&E and Pepe and even Delmarva had.
So
First Energy specifically.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. So your ability to join a solar farm is limited to the farms that are associated with your current power company?
That is correct. When we talk about it being community solar, we really mean it. The solar farms, by state law, by the way the whole system is built from the ground up, the farms are in your area. So if you're in Pepco, you sign up with the Pepco solar farm. If you're in BG&E, you sign up with the BG&E solar farm.
Oh. And just one basic question to see if I'm understanding this correctly. It doesn't change how, if you sign up for a solar farm, it doesn't change how energy is delivered to your house. You're just supporting the solar farm and then getting credit for it through the grid. I mean, the energy from the solar farm is going into the grid. So you won't see any difference in how the energy is delivered to you. Is that a fair layperson assessment?
100% correct. I wish I was giving out gold stars. You are absolutely correct. Not everybody knows about the grid. Sometimes I have to educate people on what the grid is before I can tell them that detailed information. So you're absolutely on top of it.
Well, thank you. I'm not sure I completely understand what it actually is, other than some source of electricity that's, is distributed throughout neighborhoods. But that's showing the limits of my knowledge.
I mean, the limits of your knowledge is still pretty knowledgeable, so don't sell yourself short.
I have a question. I am currently enrolled. So I do see the credits. I think I've been in the program now for like 3 months. So I don't really know a whole lot about the program itself. I do see the credits on my bill, but I also see where I'm being billed through Neighborhood Sun. So I'm trying to figure out, how does it offset? I mean, what is the main purpose of doing the solar?
Well, the main purpose is your energy is coming from solar, so it's green, and it's coming at a discount. Now, granted, it's not a huge discount. In the example that we had in the presentation, the individual was saving $5 on their bill. So nobody's going to be running out and buying a new car with that. But I grew up where every little bit helps, and it's coming from not dirty energy. So it's a win-win.
Okay.
Just to follow up, so I mean, a big question that I had previously was whether you were at risk of paying more. And is what you're saying that because of the credit and discount system, you're guaranteed to pay less, even if it's not a lot less, but you're not at risk of paying more? Is that correct?
The only way that you could pay more hypothetically is in the example that I gave where you went on vacation for a month. You don't tell us that you go on vacation for a month. You have no reason to, but we're going to still deliver the same amount of energy to you that we were planning on. So in that instance, your bill might not match what you use. But aside from that, yes, you will not be, you are guaranteed a discount. You are guaranteed to save money. And we are at time. If there was one more burning question, I think that I can push it for somebody. But other than that, I'm open to letting class out.
There's a question in the chat. Why are some farms discounted 5% and others 10%?
That comes to the decision of the developer. We tell developers that 10% discounts are better than 5% discounts. Sometimes the developers listen, sometimes they don't. We leave it to you, the consumer, to vote with your wallet and decide which farm you want to support. But we advertise them all equally.
Okay.
Will the recording automatically be sent to everyone, or do we have to request it?
I don't know how automatic it is, but it will be sent to everybody. You don't have to request it.
Okay.
So when are more Pepco farms coming online realistically?
Without consulting my crystal ball, I don't actually know when the next Pepco farms are going to be available.
Do you think it's a matter of months or years? I mean, do you have any kind of ballpark on that?
Months, definitely, not years.
Okay.
I do know that we have some irons in the fire, just not anything that I personally am in.
Okay.
And with that, I think that we are going to call it. Thank you again so much for participating in this. Like I said earlier, this only works with help from people like you. So I truly, deeply appreciate all the questions, all of the investment that you guys have put into this all the time. And if you have any questions, I know that the people that have been in the chat have been wonderful at staying on top of all the questions in there. Taj is one of our customer development individuals, and so when you reach out tomorrow, you might get him himself, and he and his team will be more than happy to help with all of your detailed questions about your specific stuff and any general questions that you have that I was not able to cover, or maybe you heard my version of it and you're like, I don't want to hear from Zach anymore, I want to hear from Taj. So with that in mind, I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy, and most importantly, safe Thursday evening. You take care and keep on smiling.